Welcome to Roanoke Hobby and Electronics. This video will be part 2 of our series with the Pi Zero, and if everything goes well, we're going to get the Pi Zero connected with Wi-Fi. And just like in the previous video, we're gonna connect to the Zero with a USB to serial adapter, and wanted to explain just a little bit more about how we're doing that. If you look at the chart for the GPIO pins, there's going to be two that are marked UART, one transmit, one receive, and that stands for the Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. So that's the interface for the serial connection, and you can use a USB console cable that's made specifically for debugging and connecting to a Raspberry Pi or a BeagleBone with the serial connections. So one of the cables you could use would be like this one here, available from Adafruit. USB, it's got just the 4 pins that you need: power, ground, transmit, and receive. So this would be specifically for debugging through a serial connection to a board. It does not have the pins that you need, like for an Arduino, to put it into bootloader mode. So it wouldn't particularly be good for that kind of use. But for the Raspberry Pi, it's just exactly what we need. And then with the Pi Zero, you're going to need one of these USB OTG cables, and we've got a Wi-Fi, USB Wi-Fi device plugged in there, so that's what we're going to connect with to get on Wi-Fi. So we had looked at this before. There's lots of these diagrams available. You could just do a quick little search, find the pinouts. The B+, the Raspberry Pi 2, and the Pi Zero have the same pin configuration. So we're gonna draw the 5 volts from the USB cable to power the Raspberry Pi. We're going to have ground, and then our UART transmit and UART receive. So the transmit pin we're going to connect to receive on the adapter, and the receive pin on the Pi Zero we're going to connect to transmit on the adapter. So transmit to receive, receive to transmit. And sorry, focus isn't cooperating with me very well here, but you might recognize this is the Pi Zero that we soldered the GPIO pins on in a previous video. And I also got the FTDI friend plugged in to the USB, and got the pins connected. So we're just going to connect the power when we're ready to boot up. Okay, so on this SD card I have the most recent version of Raspbian installed, and once we get connected to the console, we're going to edit a couple of files to get connected to Wi-Fi. The first file is /etc/network/interfaces is the name of the file, and there's going to be some default settings already there in that file. We're just going to add a line, auto WLAN 0, to automatically connect to Wi-Fi when it reboots. WLAN 0 is just the name of the default Wi-Fi interface. And then the second file we're going to edit is going to be /etc/WPA_supplicant/WPA_supplicant.conf, and that's a configuration file where you can put the SSID of the Wi-Fi network you want to connect to and the password. And that file is going to be there, but it's going to be empty. There's not going to be anything there yet, so we're going to put that in. Okay, so now we're ready to plug in the power and let the Pi Zero boot up, and then we're going to connect to the console over the serial. So we're going to plug in the pin to 5 volts, and you'll start seeing the light starting to flash there, so you know it's reading the SD card. And this is a Linux system, so I've got a terminal opened up here. We're going to use screen to open up a virtual console. The USB is going to show up at /dev/tty USB 0, and the 115200 is the speed that we're going to connect the serial speed. We're going to connect that. Hit return, so it's finished booting, and I'm at my login. The username Pi, the default password of Raspberry, and we're at the console with command line. So you might want to make a copy of the configuration files before you make changes to them. And then that way you have a backup. And then we're going to, so now we have a backup copy, but now we're ready to edit. And like I was saying, there's going to be some things already here by default. We're just going to add a couple things. That auto WLAN 0 will let it connect automatically when we reboot. And while I'm here, I'm going to edit this line. Instead of manually configuring this, we're going to add DHCP so that it will get its IP address automatically from the Wi-Fi router. So we made our 2 changes here, and with Nano I'm going to Control O to save my changes, and then Control X to exit, and then we'll make a backup copy of the next file that we're going to edit. So now we have a backup copy of it, and then we'll go in here and we'll edit. And we'll just add then to this file what we need to tell it which Wi-Fi router. So you're going to have your SSID, and I have my iPhone set up as a hotspot, so we're going to use that SSID. PSK is the field where we're going to put in the password for this hotspot. And of course I'd recommend more secure passwords than that, but just for demonstration purposes. And then we're going to Control O to save, and then exit. And then we're then going to plug in our USB OTG cable with the Wi-Fi, and also when we come back I'm going to have it plugged into just a regular power supply, because what I have found is just powering it off the this USB to serial adapter isn't quite enough to drive the Wi-Fi adapter. It needs a little more power than what it can get just from the USB. So when we reboot, we're going to be plugged into a regular power supply. I'll still have the ground, transmit, and receive pins connected so we can get to the console. We're just not going to do the power. So what we're going to do then is we're going to do a shutdown so I can reconfigure that, and then when we come back we'll see if we get connected. Okay, so I've got the USB Wi-Fi plugged in here, and I've disconnected the 5 volts from the Pi Zero, and instead of that we're going to get the power from a regular power adapter here. So we're going to plug it in and let it power up. And I don't know if it shows very well on the camera, but the light's flashing there. It's reading and writing to the SD card, and you can now see the USB Wi-Fi adapter has started blinking, and we're to our login here. Okay, we're logged in, and let's just see ifconfig-a. Okay, we've got an IP address that we got. WLAN 0 is the Wi-Fi. It's got an IP address from the DHCP, like we configured. The light's blinking, so it looks like it's making a connection. Let's just try to ping a server on the internet, and we're getting a ping. So we've got connectivity with Wi-Fi. So that was what we were trying to accomplish. And in the next video, then we'll in the next segment, then we'll disconnect from the USB to serial adapter, and then we'll connect to the Pi Zero with SSH from the laptop, and we'll install VNC so we can actually do like a remote desktop. And that way you'll have the graphical interface. So thanks for watching. be sure and stop by roanoke.hobby.info. Check out the blog and the online store, and we'll get the last part of the Pi Zero series done here in the very near future and get that published. So thanks again.